We have another twofer here. Firstly, we're talking about Dazzling Aurora. This card, possibly the most talked about card in the entire community at this point, and for good reason. It's entirely format defining. This card is so strong because basically it gives the orange deck that's playing it inevitability. If you don't beat me fast enough and I get to establish Aurora, I am going to just play so many units and you're not going to be able to handle all the resources that I'm accruing from this, and you're going to just lose the game. But you might be asking yourself, why haven't we been seeing a lot of Aurora decks like do particularly well? Of course, we've seen them do okay. Like 2 weeks ago, we saw Volibear have a little bit of a resurgence in some events, which was really cool. But we haven't seen Aurora like take over the meta or anything like that. But its presence is still not forgotten. The reason is, when a card like Aurora or a strategy like Aurora exists, every other deck basically has to become aggro or have the ability to win before Aurora really gets the ball rolling. And we've seen a lot of decks do that very successfully, due in part to facts like every deck can play Arena's Greatest and score that additional point, make the game a little bit faster, make it a little more pressure for an Aurora deck, as well as really good aggro decks like Darius Baited Hook, like Master Yi, that plays a little bit lower to the ground with smaller units, scoring very quickly. There are a lot of good aggro decks in the format, but it doesn't mean that Aurora is not an insanely strong card. It almost means like mid-range is really hard to play, because if you want to play a slightly longer game, you might give Aurora that one single turn it needs to really get online. So something strong to consider. I think Aurora, totally worth the hype. And if we get decks that ramp even better in future sets, the card's going to be absolutely snapped. We're not done talking about orange, though. We're talking about another one of my favorite cards, which is Sabotage. The card just reads insane. You look at it and you're almost like, from a competitive player standpoint, I can't believe they actually printed this card. It costs 1. Yes, it does cost the power, but you get the hand knowledge and you get to rip a non-unit out of their hand. Like, yes, establish your board all that you want, but if you don't have the grand stratagem, if you don't have the removal for this interaction in red or blue or whatever color you're playing, I'm going to win this fight. I'm going to probably win this game with the knowledge that I've accrued, especially if you're a really strong competitive player. Sabotage, absolutely nutty card. I feel like it's talked about a little bit less than Aurora, but this card deserves all the hype and praise in the world because it is just that freaking strong. It's a crazy, crazy card.